A word for our listeners. Achtung Cthulhu is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerd's Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Phil Durham, Rob Walker, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as the keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm here with Shirley.
Hi.
Scott.
Hi.
George.
Hola.
Phil.
Hello.
Rob.
I'm having a great time.
And Jesse.
Howdy.
Having a great time for you means that everybody else is annoying the crap out of me. You're not allowed to have a good time anymore.
That's not always
That's the truth.
case. That's not always the case.
It's the truth.
It's only partially the case.
It's mostly a good time for everybody if we're getting on your nerves.
Yeah, I agree.
We're having a rollicking start here at the Nerds Domain.
All right, so we have just sat down after not having played for a couple of months. So we're going to do a quick kind of run-through for all of the players of what happened last time. You guys got in a seaplane that Carlos flew over to a boat that was on its way fleeing the country, probably towards a U-boat. You guys boarded the boat after some gunfire. There was a strange mechanical device, probably of some sort of esoteric origins, that the gentleman used to propel the boat away. And then he turned into a werewolf and tried to murder you all. And that failed because you're all still alive.
Technically, wasn't that self-defense?
10. I don't understand. What do you got, Scott?
I thought you were going to mention the things he had at the end of his hand.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the esoteric machinery. The dinner plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up about a day later. You all have been pulled out of the harbor by a destroyer because the plane was not flyable, and neither was the boat, really.
But
yes.
were there not two prisoners?
There were.
Okay.
The destroyer showed up. The military men on the boat took them prisoner. They're military prisoners at this point.
Okay.
You all have been debriefed by the military and not held so much as asked to stay on the naval base in Boston. And I'm not honestly sure what the naval base there is called. I'm sure it has a very specific name. But you're at the naval base in Boston. And listeners at home, if you would like to write us and tell us the name of that naval base, I would be happy to hear about it because I'm sure this isn't the first or last time we will use it. Actually, this would be the first time. This won't be the last time we use it. So you've been asked to stay on the base, and you have then been kind of pulled aside by the FBI, either individually or in groups. So we will start with the Octobers. So Mr. October Augustus, you and Evelyn have been pulled into a room by two agents, and they've asked to discuss the situation with you. So, can you two tell me? You guys have given him the run through of what happened already. Did you hold anything back?
No.
Would there be a reason why I should?
I can't think of anything.
No.
Other than you were a little surly, but if you want to be surly, you don't care
I
if
would
the
have
FBI
followed
knows.
his
Okay.
lead.
Okay. So now that you've experienced this, this is a gentleman. He has identified himself as Agent. That's a terrible name. Sorry, Carter is not the right one. Monroe. Yeah, Agent Monroe, and the other one is Agent
Basil.
No, not Basil. This is not MI6.
Oh, was that in there?
Agent Monroe and Agent Walker.
Markham has a good one too.
Monroe says, so now that you've seen these things and you know what's going on, we would like to employ you in a further mission. Does that sound like something you'd like to do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure if I'm all that fond of her taking that risk. But
I thought we were already on a mission.
You have retrieved the books.
So you've brought me this far, and then you want to just
I
dump me
didn't know
here?
there were going to be people using this weird technology that turns them into werewolves.
Two gentlemen seem very uncomfortable. I believe that
I think you know that I can handle myself.
I believe that Evelyn has skills, and she will be able to put herself in places that 5 gentlemen won't.
What exactly are you getting at?
We may need you to go to Europe, and an uncle and his niece traveling, a moneyed uncle and his niece,
Okay.
with some bodyguards is going to seem normal. You going by yourself with 4 other guys, that's going to seem a little more likely to be espionage.
Far-fetched, I believe it's
I don't know
the
far-fetched.
word.
I mean, it would still happen, but you're going to be watched a lot closer. You wouldn't put your daughter, your niece in harm's way,
I don't like to, anyway.
but she's capable. She shot the thing too.
Am I not
I
capable
agree.
of serving my country as well?
I just said I didn't want you to. I didn't say you couldn't. Remember what I told you when you jumped to conclusions?
You look like an ass?
So, Miss October, is this something you would like to do?
Yes.
Okay. What we will do is send you immediately to a location. The other 4 gentlemen that were with you will be going as well, as long as they agree.
Can we get some target practice in before we go?
Probably not.
No.
This is a very time sensitive. At some point, we will
How
come
will we be traveling?
probably by train.
When will we know about the mission?
As soon as I can finish my sentences without being interrupted. Shh. It's not just Miss October that's doing this, Augustus. So, Mr. October, what I would like you and Evelyn to do, we will be putting you through agent training. This is a full-time employment. This isn't just a once-off deal. We'll be signing you on. Clearly, the Germans have interests in America and other places that we need eyes on, and both of you have enough knowledge and understanding to be a great benefit to the FBI.
So you're going to put us through agent training, but I can't do
Not-
target practice.
We're going to put you through agent training at some point, but immediately we're not going to do that. When you go through agent training, you'll be trained on handguns, as well as any kind of target practice you want. But that's a 6 to 8 month.
Well, I've already been trained in handguns and shotguns.
So then why do you want to get target practice in right now?
We're going to be shooting things, aren't we?
We're not going to be shooting targets.
I would hope not. The plan is to not have you.
People
shoot.
are targets.
See why I don't want to give her a gun?
I'm okay with her having a gun, as long as it's pointed at
So-
the Nazis.
Other than our sense of pride and civic duty, what kind of compensation will we be receiving for this?
There's a war brewing.
Correct. And even soldiers make money.
Yes, you'll get
Not
standard.
very much.
You'll get standard agent pay. I understand that wouldn't be much to you, but I don't have much more to compensate you with. However,
It's a gesture more than the...
anything
amount.
else that we do come across, stolen books that we can't find homes for, art, those kinds of things are something that if you wanted to add them to your collection, we'd be more than happy to have that happen. We'd rather have them with a patriot than with Nazis. Does that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay. I will fully explain the mission to all of you at once, assuming everyone has agreed.
Are we dismissed?
Do you have any questions?
No.
She just asked one.
Miss October, I understand your frustrations, but hopefully they're not with me. They're with your uncle. I think you're fully capable. I'm happy to put you in the field.
Thank you. See.
Never said you weren't capable.
Okay. So, next, Commander William Schultz. You've been debriefed by a Vice Admiral, the one that's in Boston.
Okay.
Whoever. It's been made clear by the Navy that they are giving you over to the FBI for whatever they need. Now, you can deny that. That's an option you have. You're not refusing orders, but you're more like refusing a promotion. in that kind of sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You are met by the same Agent Walker and Agent Monroe. Agent Monroe does most of the talking. Agent Walker seems a little more frail. He seems less physically capable, but there's clearly some book smarts behind him.
Okay. I would have, prior to when they told me that I'd be moved over, I would check back with my office and my former position, my former station, to make sure that I had some that they have everything they need for me. That my position, that I'm not going to be leaving anybody in the lurch. That
they may have questions as they go through a transition period, but
right.
You are a military attaché. They've trained others to do the same thing. It would be mostly about Germany specifically, and they're not sending the ambassador back.
Right, but as long as the ambassador is not going to be
no.
pitching a fit that I can't leave, then I'm fine.
No, this is Jack Kennedy, so he understands
All right.
the things that you do for whatever.
Right.
You are met with you are debriefed again by the FBI. They run you through the whole scenario. They ask all the questions.
Okay, I offer them everything.
Okay. You did by the Vice Admiral get chided or chastised a little bit for using military assets
For commandeering a boat?
because had it not worked out, that could have been a problem.
Oh, sure.
But-
Thankfully, winning cures most ills.
It does.
Yes.
So they make it clear that you're perfectly fine with what you did because it worked, but
Don't do that again.
they just want to make sure that's on the table that you understand that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you run through the whole thing. You don't hold any. There's nothing really to hold back at this point. You don't hold back that there was a werewolf.
No.
Or that there was this
No.
weird- Okay.
I say that, knowingly, it doesn't make sense to me. Such things are myth and fairy tale, but this is what I saw.
When you say something, when you get done, the whole time Agent Walker has been taking notes, and at the end he says, unorthodox but successful. It's the Boston Naval Yard. That's where you're at. Our listeners are very quick.
Nice.
Mr. Agent Monroe says, so you've been offered this position within the FBI. Do you understand quite what that means?
No, if you could enlighten me.
Much like when you were a military attaché and put you slightly outside of the command structure, this would be completely outside. You would essentially be taking a leave from the military. You'd lose a lot of your military contacts, or a lot of your military benefits and interests, but still maintain your rank. You wouldn't be considered at any point in time in command of anyone, but you still would hold that your commander, not retired, and they would still see you in that same light. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay. What we're doing is putting together a team. You will be joined by the other 5 members that went with you on this boat, including Miss October, who I must stress is a valued member of this team. She is to be treated as such.
With this lateral shift being made, where does that put me in the chain of command with you two individuals?
We will discuss that per mission.
How about at the moment?
At the moment, you'll be registered as an agent, a field agent, given pay as such, as well as any benefits and such that you would need along those lines.
So you are recommending that Miss October will be coming with us, and as such, I can't argue with that. She seems capable, and she also seems to be rather upset every time you suggest that she is not capable. So I just don't need the headache.
She has a streak of stubbornness in her. I would agree.
She does.
However, that stubbornness is going to benefit you.
Oh, I don't think that it wouldn't. What are we doing, by the way? What is our goal, our mission? If
I'll
you will?
go over the mission completely. I just want to make sure with the group.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure we answer questions one time, not 6 times.
Agreed.
But really what it comes down to is you will be an agent of the FBI Hoover has taken a particular interest in this.
Domestic work, then.
Well, since we don't exactly have an FBI for international affairs, you may be operating outside. There is no OSS doesn't exist yet. CIA comes from the OSS.
That's right. Okay.
OSS doesn't exist until 43 or 44.
That's right. Okay.
So,
Right. And I'm like, yes,
Hoover,
absolutely.
And,
You're right.
and just as a note, Hoover at this point does whatever he wants because he wrote the book about what he did. Like, they were like, hey, describe your position. And he was like, well, this is what I do. They're like, okay.
All right. Well, then let's eye that stuff up. We at the FBI.
Yeah. So your first mission we'll start domestic. Hopefully we'll end domestic if everything goes well, but I don't know that it will. And that may not be up to you. It may just be the timeline that we've already been dealt with.
Certainly.
Or already been dealing with. Yeah, he would have said it right. So you are good to take the position?
I don't see any impediments at this point in time.
Okay. You will, I'm sure you'll have paperwork to clean up. It may have to wait. Yeah, after we have this conversation, I'm going to have the conversation with the other people, and then we're going to have a briefing, and then you're getting on a train.
Oh, so we're on a short timeline.
Very short timeline.
Excellent. Okay, well then I won't waste your time with questions.
Excellent. We'll have plenty of time for that later.
Wonderful.
Okay. So Mr. Gorp, Agent Gorp, Marshal Gorp, Deputy Marshal Gorp. There we go. There's the words. You are also pulled into the same thing. You hold anything back about the investigation?
I don't mention the werewolf, and I don't mention the plates, the weird weaponry.
As you describe everything, you get to the end. Agent Walker, who has been sitting there kind of taking notes and hasn't said much, Monroe has been walking you through questions. Walker stands up calmly and says, "Is that everything? Are you sure?" Keep in mind, we have the debriefing records from the Navy. We also have the debriefing records from all of the other members of your team.
People have made claims. I don't know what the hell they are, and they don't fit, and they don't fit right.
And
what I know is there were 3 men on that boat that attacked us, and that we took them out. We did the job. Well, we took the...
And you saw nothing strange.
Harry German.
It's not that strange. And no unusual technology.
I don't know what that was, but I'm not versed enough to say that it was anything of outside the norm.
Was it something of note, though? If you saw it again...
It was rather destructive, and it would probably be something we would need to look into, yeah.
If you saw it again, what would your first inclination be?
Shoot the pack.
Not the worst idea. Okay. If you saw Harry German, let's say, again, what would your first inclination be?
I'm sure there's plenty of Harry Germans.
We are going to be requisitioning you from the marshals. It's your choice of whether or not you're going to join us. Given your investigation abilities and the fact that you're the only one of the 6 that has those and have been trained with those, we're going to rely on you for those investigation abilities. We're sending you with other people who have specialties. Yours is looking past things and seeing the bigger picture. Are you ready to become an FBI agent?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure the pay's similar and the benefits and so on and so forth. We operate a little differently. We don't just shoot people unless we can cover it up. But we're looking for crime, not for criminals. We're looking into crime, not for criminals. And that's important because you're used to looking for criminals who are already criminals and tracking them down. We're looking for what happened here and how to deal with it. And that doesn't always necessarily mean apprehending the bad guy.
Okay.
Sometimes that means covering up the bad guy. You can't apprehend what's dead.
Ah.
Okay. That's not how you're used to operating, I'm sure.
Not at all.
But that's how we're working now. Director Hoover has taken an interest in this case and in you specifically. Your work with the marshals has been not long enough. I mean, a more seasoned agent would be nice, but you have already dealt with something along the lines of occult, and that's what we need. And you dealt with it decently well. I mean, you didn't know quite what you were dealing with, so you didn't make choices that could have been made with that information.
Right.
But moving forward, we have plenty of things that we need help with, and the first one is very soon is already happening, and we need to move quickly. I'll debrief you on the entire mission when the whole group is together, assuming we get all the group. So, one last thing, Miss October is to be treated as an equal member of this team, even if you are put into command, and we are not assigning command yet at this point. There will not be another disagreement on whether she's going or whether she's armed. She will be armed. She will go, and she may be in charge at some point, and you may just have to handle that. Is that acceptable?
If that's the rules and that's what you're calling, that's what we'll do.
That's perfect. That sounds great. Okay, thank you. Mr. Washington. I'm sorry, Professor Dr. Washington.
Professor is fine, thank you.
Dr. Professor Mr. Washington. You were pulled in the same room, you're debriefed. Do you hold anything back?
No. I deal with all sorts of oddities and things.
Your Agent Monroe starts talking. Agent Walker has taken notes. He hasn't said anything. Says your specialties in the knowledge base would be highly valued at the FBI. The world is preparing for war. Germany is going to attack. It's a matter of when. We need your understanding of things to look into things a little less known.
I am a patriot.
Good. You would have to leave the university, probably be put on a leave of absence. We want to maintain that I
have sabbatical time.
Well, and we would work that out with them as well, but we want to make sure that you maintain your position there, because we may need access to their library and research, and without much of a hassle.
And I have an idea for how to grease those wheels in particular.
Excellent.
If I might be able to publish on some of the things I might observe. I understand some of it might be state secrets.
Some of it may be immediate. Some of it may have to wait till after the war, if it happens. Some of it may have to wait decades, but I'd be willing to work on that.
If I get a lifetime worth of publishable material that I can spread out, that sounds very nice.
Excellent.
As well as perhaps some artifacts for the library and those types of things.
Oh, absolutely. We are pulling two of your former colleagues to act as trainers. They've seen things. A Professor Weld and the librarian Eva McCree.
Well, it'll be good to see some familiar faces.
They've seen things. They did their own little work in the 1920s that will be similar to this.
Miskatonic tends to collect those types.
It does. So you'll be joining us. This will be an official position. You're set with that?
I don't see any reason why the university would have a problem with that. If I'm publicly, or I guess not probably also publicly, but if I'm listed as an actual agent, or whether that's more off the books, either works.
We will probably list you as a research agent, but realistically you'll be a field agent.
Makes some difference for me.
Excellent. Well, good. There will be a briefing on the actual the full mission shortly. It's just a matter of time, and information will come out then with what exactly you're going to do.
Sounds excellent.
All right. Thank you. And then finally we come to Carlos Aguirre something.
Aznar.
There you go. Carlos, you were debriefed at Naval at the naval base. Handled kind of pretty much like you were handled at the Army. They're concerned with your loyalties, but they treat you with the respect they would give a VIP. You're kept on the base. You're kept comfortable, overly comfortable for what you're used to, probably after years of military bunking. They put you up in an actual like officer's home, and give you someone that cooks for you and such. But you get the impression that they're either trying to poach you from the Army to put you in with Navy pilots, or they're just trying to make sure that you aren't unhappy because you're an asset they don't want to lose. After the 24 hours or whatever it takes, you're pulled in to a room with 2 FBI agents. They debrief you, have questions. Monroe does almost all of the talking. Do you hold anything back during that time?
No.
At the end, Monroe kind of stands up and paces, which he hadn't done until this point. And finally he stops and he turns and he says, your loyalties to your home, are they still there?
What home?
Spain.
Spain?
The movement in Spain that you fought for.
It's dead.
So where are your loyalties now? I understand you're working with the Army, but that doesn't make you a citizen.
I like killing fascists.
You like killing fascists. Do you like investigating what fascists are doing that are similar to what you did here?
Are we investigating them so that you can take the secrets for yourself and your own profits? Or are you investigating them so that you can find more to kill and destroy?
We're investigating them to understand what's going on so that we can combat it.
Understand it.
If they have dinner plates that shoot out some sort of force, we need to know what that is so we can either kill it on sight or put something in its way that it can't hurt.
That might do.
You have no love for the Nazis?
I have nothing but hatred for the Nazis.
What about this white wolf? Would you like to see him dead?
Beyond hatred.
And if I told you that I had the ability to not only give you leave to do that, but arm you and put you in the right direction to start hurting him?
Will he remain dead this time?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But you think you have an inkling, a step towards...
I have at least a step. And if nothing else, I'll put you back in Europe where you're closer to him. And we will be working to fight the group he's with.
The Nachtwolf.
The Nachtwolf, yes.
I can do this thing.
Would you be willing to become an American citizen?
Yes, if that would make things easier.
You can't give an FBI badge to a non-citizen.
Oh, I would be a registered agent.
You would.
All right.
We're putting together a team. You have some level of respect for Miss October already.
Yes.
She'll be on the team. Is that an issue?
That's a good thing.
Good. We will probably be signing some paperwork, making you a citizen quite shortly.
That fast?
When it needs to be done, it needs to be done. We have a line on one of the werewolves, or the White Wolf's agents here in America, and we need to get you and the rest of your team there as quickly as possible. So, does that all work for you?
Yes.
Then welcome to America, Mr. Aznar. If that's the correct way they would have said it.
Aznar.
Okay. Aguirre Aznar. And then they release you. It's probably, for all of you, it's probably 20, 30 minutes tops after you're done talking to them. You don't all end at the same time, but it's a quick debriefing every time. And they bring you into one room and they sit you down. We received a communique. We found a communique. We've from the White Wolf. It's on official papers. There's only one, but I'm spreading it out.
The White Wolf?
The White Wolf. Carlos, would you like to give any information on the White Wolf this time?
I flew against him in the war. He was a Nazi pilot sent with their Condor Legion to help the fascists. He killed many people that I knew. I thought I'd killed him. Then I saw him alive after doing things that no one could have survived.
What sort of things?
Going down in an explosion.
When you first came over, you were fully debriefed by the Americans. Did you tell them that you gunned him down once he was on the ground?
If they pressed for it.
They probably did, just to get an idea of everything so that they could protect you from any kind of war crimes later.
Yeah.
The officer, or the agent kind of steps forward. He says, Carlos has proven that he can kill the White Wolf. The White Wolf has proven that he doesn't stay dead. We can corroborate some of what he says. Some of it's just not corroboratable. It's not a word. I don't know what the word is there.
Able to be corroborated.
But I wanted one word. Oh, sorry.
I know it sounds insane, but
This was found in a hotel, or in a hotel in San Diego, near the naval base there.
Well, there are scenarios where an individual might be in a dogfight, go down in their plane and survive. They would spend months in a hospital, but it's not unheard of.
But
he starts rubbing the scars on his face. Oh, yes. I have some experience with that.
Then,
I know the difference.
What do you mean, the difference?
When bullets from my guns penetrated his skull and it exploded.
You landed and tracked
No, I
him
gunned
down
him down on the ground after I shot down his plane.
with fire from the aircraft. You hit him and he lived?
no,
Riddled his...
he didn't live, but he is alive.
Okay, what you're saying doesn't make sense.
We have seen weird technology already. Could he have just
I don't-
had an image that you believe you hit instead of him?
I saw him destroyed, and then I saw him alive later. I don't make sense of it, but then I don't make sense of men turning into wolves either.
Twin brother?
Doubtful.
We know there is but one White Wolf. I mean, he is a member in high standing within the Nacht Wolf. What we have here is a communication from Munich to an agent called... It's all the same. An agent called Gehilfe, with a list of books and an operation to be followed up on.
Doctor, Mr. October, Ms. October, do any of the books ring a bell? I looked through the list. They're not regular reading texts at West Point.
Do any of the books ring a
Give
bell?
me an occult roll.
While
You too, Shirley.
we're looking at that, you said it was found in a hotel. Was it found in a room or somewhere else?
It was found in a room. We were on the trail of what we believed to be a German operative. Turns out we were correct. But he was a step or two or five ahead of us, but this got left behind. It looked like it fell behind the desk.
What was the name that they were staying under? I understand it might not be their true name, but an alias we can look to see if they are used in the future.
Absolutely. The name was William Smith, which, as you might imagine, hard to track down.
Schmidt.
No, it's under the American
Yes,
Smith.
Yes, from the letter.
Right.
Yes, send it to the operative named Smith.
Mhm.
That's what this letter says.
Does it?
No, it actually says Schmidt, but I'm translating into
yes.
Smith.
Yeah.
I make the comment off the cuff as though it makes, and I look at it, put it down, and move
Can
on.
I have one of those back?
The books don't sound familiar to me, but I've never actually read any of our books. I just collect them. If I remember correctly, Evelyn, you've read a few of the books, right?
Yeah, Shirley, can I get you to give me an occult roll?
Professor Washington succeeded on his.
You are familiar with a couple of these. You are familiar with Dinergus, the first one. It's Dinergus Curialium. Curialium? I don't know, whatever. It's a 12th century Latin book by Walter Map.
Walter Map.
Yep, M-A-P. It's
Latin, you said?
Yes. He's English, but it was written in Latin, so on and so forth.
Are you telling me that I read these?
No, I'm telling Dr. Washington
No.
what they were. Did you make your occult roll?
Yes, I did.
What'd you get? Did you
57.
succeed? Did you succeed?
Yes.
Okay. Then you both would know about that one. The Magus, you're also familiar with. The Magus is written by Francis Barrett in London in 1801. Has a lot to do with alchemy. The
The second one.
the second one,
Much
Demonum.
as Matt sent us
Deceptions of the Devil.
our
Yes.
last recording so that we could catch up, we need to send Matt some quick translation.
Would you like
guides for it.
to pronounce these for me?
I need the paperback so I can read them. Oh, thank you.
The second one, the Prestidigitation. Danonum.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So good at this.
The prestidigious demonium or demonum. Yeah.
See, Demonum. But whatever.
They
That
both
one
know
is that one's about demons and devils. It is in Latin as well. The Dural E. The Mecnun.
Mecnun.
I'm gonna have to look up because
Why are you doing that in a Scottish accent?
I was accenting the umlauts. Devils and demons
So
only
I
in
know
cakes.
about the courtiers, trifles, the magus, deceptions
You
of
know,
the devil.
you're gonna know about all of them. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
The Duri Mecnun is a 15th century Ottoman Turkish cosmography in prose.
Nice. I bet that would have been amazing to read.
It's traditionally attributed to Ahmed the Khan. And then the Kybalion is a book from 1908. It's called The Kybalion Hermetic Philosophy. And it is the essence of the teachings of Hermes.
And it
Like,
has
like
4.5.
the Greek
Sounds amazing.
god Hermes?
You must be referring to a different Hermes that would have some sort of last name, Matt.
Does this have a...
Hermes Trismegistus. Trismegistus. Yeah, whatever.
This book has 4 out of 5
Triscuits?
stars on Amazon.
It does have 4.3 stars on Amazon.
Are you
It's real.
kidding me? So I
Wow.
can get it?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
How much is it?
I don't.
Send it to my Kindle.
I'm not buying it.
Why?
So now we've
doesn't want an
devolved into
infernalist in his
buying.
home.
Yeah, now we've devolved into buying books that open
Hold on.
portals to hell.
That's a 4.3
For
out of
our
5.
at-home listeners.
That's a
Masks of Nyarlathotep does not recommend reading books that open portals to hell.
That is a 4.3 out of 5 on Goodreads.
Oh, so who downvoted it?
I don't know.
It's a popular book amongst the alchemist set.
You can read it on Google Play for 4.27.
It's Hermetic philosophy. That's it, guys. Come on.
It's the devil.
It's about component magic as opposed to noetics.
So those are the 5 books that you have that he's looking for. Jesse, can you roll credit rating? Credit rating.
That I can.
Didn't think you'd need that, did you?
I made it.
Okay. You know where 3 of these books, whose collections they sit in.
Hey, I know where.
Yes.
Okay, the only thing
Hold on,
that is
hold
in
on,
my
hold
head...
on, hold on.
Wait, go ahead.
You had a question.
Are these all singular copy books?
Yeah. Yes. There's probably Kybalion probably has 150 copies out somewhere throughout the world.
Anything at Miskatonic?
No. These are all books that specifically are not at Miskatonic.
Okay.
Which would
collection books?
I know where 3 of them are.
Private collection books?
I know who owns 3 of them.
yeah.
I know
like
the
you know
own-
them
I
personally?
know of owners.
Yes,
Of
we
3 of them.
do.
Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Yay. That was a positive thing.
Kybalion sits in your collection,
Oh yeah, one of them is me.
but in California specifically, you know who has possession of that. Don't ask for a name because I'm not giving you one. So the same thing with the prestigious Daemoni, whatever that one, and the Magus. All 3
Are all in California.
Yeah, well, this was specifically, if you read the thing, he's supposed to be looking in
San Francisco.
San Francisco and the area.
Don't we know someone in San Francisco that we could call?
That owns those 3 books.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 separate owners.
There are 3 separate owners.
Mr. October,
know.
did you say you own one of these?
Yes.
Yes.
Which one?
The Cabalion.
The Cabalion.
Have either of you read it?
No, I don't tend to
No.
read our collection that much. I'm pretty sure she has, though.
What?
You spend a lot of time in the library.
I've seen the book. I don't know if I've read it. It sounds
Awesome.
familiar.
What was your question, George?
She lied.
It was very confusing to me when it said we're looking for tombs
It's
in the note as opposed to tomes.
Yeah, tomes.
It really does.
Those Germans are bad typers.
Yeah, because I was like, for the listeners, it says you have been tasked with locating, identifying, and obtaining several occult tombs. Trio MBS listed below. These tombs are potentially located in San Francisco, and then later describes books. So I was like, what on earth is going on here? I have no clue what we're doing.
Those pesky Germans don't know how to write the English word for tome.
Must be an accent problem.
Yeah.
See, whereas what I did was I later went on to read about the books and thought, oh, the books are down in the
They're hidden in graves or
catacombs
something, right?
underneath.
That is exactly what I thought.
Thank you.
So we have loaned our book out.
No, you still have your book. There are multiple.
There are more than
copies
one
of
copy of
It's
the
in your
Cabalion.
grave.
We should down in your tomb.
Yeah.
It's in your family mausoleum.
Dr.
We have a couple
Washington.
of those.
Dr. Washington. You know that there's a copy of Dury McNunn at UCLA. Or no.
And you were
UCLA?
yelling at me for
UCLA is real.
Did it exist in 38?
Yeah.
Okay, so at UCLA.
Readers,
You
correct
said
us.
sure, like.
Listeners at home,
Who
please
cares?
correct
Yeah,
us.
Sid, whatever.
Because if not, it's
And
at
you-
the University of Pacific.
Southern
or
California?
Whatever. Yeah.
Who cares? There's a bunch
Berkeley.
down there. No, Berkeley would be too far.
I know. So, but you were going to bust him for a Scottish accent on that one too, or just me?
For what?
For
The way
what?
he pronounced it.
McNunn?
If I made fun of all the
Dury
ones that
Mc-
he's mispronouncing,
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Let's get back
We'd
to
be
the
here
game.
all night.
Oh.
All right, so those are the...
Is
those.
that why you can't learn Irish?
It's Gaelic. It's not Irish.
No, actually, the national language of Ireland is Irish.
Is it? I thought it was Gaelic.
Gaelic-
So
Gaelic-
Not only did
it's
we buy,
Gaelic.
not only did we buy the program, the Rosetta Stone program. It
For
says
Irish?
Yes, it says in the Frodor's Guide, the Irish national language is Irish. There's a whole page on it.
I think it's a different, like, it's
Yeah,
a Gaelic language.
It's a
but there's
Gaelic
different
language, but it's
Gaelic-
specifically Irish. They put their own name on it.
But is it like? Oh, I mean, is it Englishy enough, or?
No, it's no.
I mean, is it,
There's nothing English about this.
okay, I didn't know.
This is like saying,
This
huh,
is Scott asking the question. I did not.
that
know.
guy from Egypt seems to be speaking the language. Does that sound English-ish? No, nothing like English.
All right.
I thought Gaelic was as dead as Latin.
No,
No, people speak
No,
it.
no, not at all.
So it's I know people speak it. People speak Latin also, though.
No, they-
I didn't know they
but
kept
there-
changing it, though.
there's
They're
some
adding new
communities-
words
Can
to Gaelic.
All dying out.
Go back to
argue about
Britain.
something that's not language. So, we're sitting. Yes,
So we have leads on 4 of the 5 books.
yes. The
fifth we
last
do
book
not
we're not sure.
have. Okay.
And which is the last book? That would be the Magus.
De Nugis Curialum.
What
Oh,
he
the
said.
first one? Okay, cool.
I just
But-
didn't want to have to pronounce
But
it.
the fact
Fine.
that we have a lead on the books doesn't necessarily help us as much as stopping the people who are looking for their leads on the books in San Francisco. I mean, it's not who can come up with them first. At least I hope it's not.
If we can get them before they can, then we have the books. They'll come
If-
to us. We just
Doesn't
kill them
come
then.
through us.
what Mr. October said. What Agent October said.
Well, no, but if Mr. October, Agent October has his copy. I would not suggest going to San Francisco and waving it around on the street, going, "Hey, bad guys, if you were looking for a copy, I got one right here." B, I don't think I'm going to ask the agents who are briefing us. It's not, "Hey, can we put the 5 together so that we can use the magic before they can?" Right?
No, it's can we put the 5 together so that if they want to get them, they have to look other places. These are the places they're publicly known, or they had a lead on them to begin with. That's why they sent this agent to California.
Or if we have them, we can try to lure them and capture them.
Right, but my point being that it's far more the fact that we have a copy of these books is not nearly as important as the fact that we need to know where they're going to try to obtain the copy they're getting.
That's why I said the 4 leads.
Okay.
While
All right.
while we're traveling, she can read the book and maybe know why they're looking for it.
Well, here's the
Which
other.
book?
Assuming you haven't already read it.
Which book?
One thing. 1 point.
The one
to
we
put-
own.
Got 1 point to put out
Okay.
there. Just the one. There were other German operatives as well. They're already gone or taken care of. This is the one we haven't bagged yet. This was a multiple. There were multiple agents picking books up from the United States. Whatever they're doing, they're gaining knowledge.
So do we have a list of where the other agents were going from the agents you've already nabbed?
There was one in Texas. There was one in Chicago. There was one in Seattle, and then this one in California, and the one in the Baltimore area.
But do they, Chicago, Texas, etc., do they know what the other German agents' plans were, or where
probably they may have if they weren't dead.
Oh,
You stopped all of them.
Yes, Mr. Washington.
The agents who stopped these other German agents, why aren't they going after this last one? Why are we being tasked with it?
Because this isn't just normal investigation anymore. There's clearly something esoteric going on, and we didn't plan on that to begin with. What you saw on that boat is not something our normal agents are equipped for.
So the other agents weren't necessarily stopping agents that were doing these esoteric or occult things?
They were looking for German spies. That's all they thought. They thought, German spies, why do they have these books? And then things turned ugly and people died.
Fair enough.
What have you done with the books currently?
They've either been given back to their owners if the owners requested them, or they've been placed under protection at the National Archives.
So they're all in one place, except
No.
the ones that you gave back.
Yes. But the National Archive isn't, it's not like you can waltz in there.
Unless you're a werewolf.
and
Even then there are guards on the doors.
and when you say National Archive, you mean under the mall at the National Museum?
That's correct.
Okay.
Assuming that all exists in 1938. And if it doesn't, listeners, please email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com.
You're making a lot of stuff up.
All of it. Didn't you like the nice, pretty note I wrote? Other
Did you
than the
write
tombs.
that?
Tombs.
The background. This is a form I got from Octung. Octung gave me the form,
Nice.
and I just filled it in. It was a fillable PDF.
So
It's
you-
all-
So
nice.
Tombs is your error.
So you missed
Some
the
pesky
hotel.
Germans. It's the Germans. The Germans did it.
Jaw.
Sure, it was intentional, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, Matt did this. It's all his fault.
No, nothing.
But no, I did like that. That was a nice touch.
I like it too. There are also telegraphs. We'll be seeing telegraphs.
Oh, good
And for
night.
our listeners at home, I will be placing this in our show notes.
Did you just say there will be singing telegraphs?
No, not singing. There will be telegraphs.
Oh, they will be singing.
Okay, so we're going to put you on a train to San Francisco. We believe that that's the best place to start, and then from there, start tracking this down. If for some reason in the course of this investigation you find yourselves needing to leave the country, which is possible, if you could track the German out of the country and back to Europe, follow him. Mr. October, if you could cover those costs, the agency will cover you back for anything you spend.
Anything I spend?
Within reason. Within reason.
On the mission.
That also means that given the situation and that we are not at Langley, if you need to pick up weaponry or anything while you're out, please do so. We will also cover that expense as well.
Why not fly
Within
us out
reason.
there?
Because I want to put you on. No, I honestly...
Less chance for Matt to attack us. I mean, en route. Go ahead.
We could, but a flight is going to be seen, whereas a train
Trains
ride
are
is not.
stealthy and silent.
Well,
And invisible.
in 1938, there is not a lot of passenger flights. They could put you on a C-130.
No, they couldn't.
no, they couldn't.
They could put you on something like a C-130,
C-19.
whatever it is. The
Not a
1938
C-130.
equivalent of C-130. For our listeners at home, tell me I'm wrong.
For your listeners at home, the C-130 was revolutionary, one of a kind for its design at the time. There was nothing like a C-130.
No, he's talking about a cargo plane.
I
There
said
was
right,
cargo
No,
planes.
but the C-130 has the flip
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry. Hey, you.
Done.
You said it.
One.
How can he have one after one? Wouldn't that be two?
One and done.
There's actually a German
I got the
glider
one.
that
I
had a
don't know if he
flip-up
got the
nose.
one.
Okay. So we'll taking you out there on the train. Ha, eat it. That's how it works. The train. Any other questions, George?
It's an obsolete technology.
The train? No.
That was in character.
That's what the FBI is willing to pay for. No, Mr. October, we're not going to pay you back for a plane flight.
They could just use mine.
You don't own a plane.
I could.
No. You're not.
I can
You got a
fly
credit
for
rating
you.
that high? Nice. Roll your credit rating. You need a critical success.
I actually failed.
No plane for you.
I have a plane.
So, off to the train it is.
Are we equipped?
Whatever you have already. So if you need to pick up pistols or shotguns or something.
I need
How about a
stats
badge?
for a pistol.
I need a
Badges?
badge and a Browning automatic
No.
rifle.
No, you don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah, they've already I've already given you badges. Yes.
Why would we have badges? Wouldn't we get found out?
You're in the States and you need badges as investigators?
I thought you wanted her to say hello.
No, I'm good.
I need a Browning automatic rifle.
Okay. I think that'll do us tonight for Masks.
Do I get my Browning automatic rifle?
It's a great
Can you
piece
just
of
issue
equipment.
the weapons first?
Yeah, are there stats for it in your book?
I already have them written down on my character sheet.
Are you serious?
Can I see them? Because I don't remember what the stats are. Is it a heavy machine gun?
It's a machine gun.
It's a machine gun.
Is
It's
it?
actually, if you look at the way the rules are, it's all one
sorry.
thing for machine guns.
No, I thought SMGs.
Nope.
I could have sworn that there was a whole other thing. Yeah, because there's a machine gun and heavy weapon machine gun.
No, if you look the way it's written.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up. So we talked about this in character creation.
Is this a thing where you can shoot multiple shots at once?
I don't know.
Why do you have a 72% but a 55? Oh, no, that's a handgun.
As a
72 handgun, 55 is for the BAR.
What? Oh, Browning automatic rifle. I'm sorry, I saw the thing that said Browning hip. I just want to make sure if you can fire multiple shots at once, you need to know the rules for that.
Sure.
Then we're all good. So that'll do us tonight for Masks of Nyarlathotep.
Hot tub.
time machine.
Nyarlathotep Time Machine. No, I'm not doing that. Nyarlathotep Octung Cthulhu. We will talk to you guys real soon.
And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us on facebook.com/nerdsdomain, on Twitter @nerdsdomain, or over at our site nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Josh Schock for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at slashloot.com.